So I'm conceptualizing this messaging around trust, which I believe is vitally important. And sitting in the chair there is a burlap bag. Well, let's talk about that. The lack of trust in the workplace is responsible for so much disengagement that people experience while at work. They're not sure who to trust or what to trust. And so to a certain degree, they live their lives in fear. Conversely, if you have an organization where teams trust each other, all of that goes away and you can really focus on the customer and the product and have not only a very efficient organization, but an organization that is filled with engaged and happy team members. So back to that burlap bag. When you look closely at a burlap bag, or any fabric for that matter, what you'll find is not just horizontal fibers, but vertical fibers as well. Those meshed together allow the bag to do its job because they make it strong. It can now carry stuff. Similarly, when we think about trust in the workplace, we have to think about vertical and horizontal. Too often you hear this, oh, I trust my coworker, or I trust my friends, or I trust my team, but I don't trust the people here, or here, or here, or over there. And so there's a breakdown in trust. For an organization to really have a culture of trust, there must be trust horizontally throughout the organization and vertically throughout the organization. But how is that accomplished? First of all, it requires a duality on our part. On one hand, we have to be willing to trust. There has to be that vulnerability that says, I extend to you this gift that I'm going to take you at your word, and I am going to rely upon you, and I am going to consult and collaborate and coordinate with you, and together we are a team. I am going to give you my trust. And on the other hand, it requires us to be trustworthy, that the promises we make are promises kept, that we are truthful in our word, that people truly can rely upon us, and that we have each other's backs. You have to be both trusting and trustworthy for trust to really work in the workplace. For there to be trust, there must be truth. There must be that authenticity. No little white lies, no subterfuge, but open, honest communication. Because if there isn't, trust is quickly eroded. And by open, honest conversation, that includes not trying to make things seem better than they are. All too often, we take what really is bad news and try to sugarcoat it to make it seem not so bad or palatable. And that really isn't being very authentic. Let good news be good news, let bad news be bad news, but let it be the truth. Trust requires us to be there, not necessarily physically present, but certainly mentally present, and present with the team and present with the work. If we are absent, people are going, what's really going on there? And there is no reliability. But if we are there and ready to work and play, there is great reliability, and that builds trust. Here's something we don't talk about often enough when we discuss trust, and that is realism. Too often organizations build out these uber lofty goals that fail to connect with the reality of the marketplace, the reality of the team, and the reality of the world in general. And from the get-go, people realize it is unrealistic and trust is eroded right there. And trust requires that you're knowledgeable. All too often I have seen people erode their professional trust by grabbing answers out of the air, and those answers had no connection with the project or the reality at hand. Know what you're talking about. And this is really important to note. Trust doesn't happen like that. If you go to a session on learning to trust, you're not going to walk out of there and automatically trust everybody and the culture is wonderful. Trust is built by experience. And sometimes that's a long haul, but it is absolutely worth the journey. And remember this, trust is not perfect. There's going to be some snags, some holes, some errors along the way. Repair them quickly so that you can continue working in trust. So, back to the burlap. We've established the importance of horizontal and vertical trust, creating a strong fabric that enables teams to do great work. But let's also think about the importance of extending that trust outward into the world. Do we conduct business so that our customers trust us and we trust them, and that we trust our vendors and they trust us? Because if we trust each other, then we truly can be fully engaged at work and be a whole lot happier. If you like this, please hit that like button. Please share and please subscribe. Thank you.